Hello everybody, my name is Todd Taylor. I just want to talk to you for just a minute if I can about the beginning of our world and how people look at the beginning of time, the beginning of our world, the beginning of life. And there are two basic ways that you can look at the origins or the beginnings. You can look at them from a biblical worldview, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's what I believe and that's what I support. Or you can look at it from a secular worldview, which includes evolution, millions of years. But I want to look at the origin, but I want to look at it in simple scientific terms, not the secular worldview and not in the biblical worldview. Now, Christians take a hit these days because they say that we don't support science, that we reject science, but I don't. I believe in science, true science. I believe there's true science out there, and I believe there is false science. And so true science, as you look at it, that's what I want to do, is I want to look at the beginning very simply and very quickly, a beginning and the origins of our world from a scientific view. Just simple. I'm not a scientist. I'm not claiming to be a scientist. I'm not claiming to know all there is to know. Just a couple of simple things about our beginnings. Because if you look at it, one of the things that I think about is the law of entropy, which is the second law of thermodynamics. And in its simplest form, it simply says that things that are left to themselves will eventually decay. They'll corrupt, they'll corrode, they'll disintegrate. When they're left to themselves, they're going to devolve. They're not evolving, they're not getting better, they are devolving, they are breaking down. And so that's the same is true with our universe. Whenever they look at it, they say it has so many millions of years or billions of years, and their theories say that sooner or later the universe, the galaxies and all will disintegrate and fall apart. Now, as I said, I'm not a scientist, but I know this. According to the law of entropy, you cannot get order and design from something that is chaotic. That's just simple science. Whenever you have something that is in order, something had to put it in order. There had to be an original cause to bring that order. So you cannot get that order from something that is chaotic. And I believe that what they call the theory of the Big Bang, is a thing of chaos, and that all of the order and the galaxies and the way they are formed and positioned throughout the universe came from the Big Bang. But you cannot get that from chaos. The second thing I want to talk about is this. The second thing is the fact that you cannot get life where there is no life. Life can't come from something that is inanimate or dead or not living. If you're going to produce life or reproduce life, then you have to get it from something living. They're trying to reproduce life in laboratories all around the world today. Unfortunately, they've not been able to do that. They always have to have a living component to put in with those cells in order to produce life or reproduce life. They cannot reproduce life from something that is not already living. So with those two things, and we have a universe that has an intelligent order, we have life that reproduces life. So those two things, whenever you think about the origin of things, tells us that surely there is something that is vastly more intelligent that man cannot comprehend or fully understand. Now, there are a lot of theories that are put out as scientific fact, but they're theories. They haven't been proven, and they go against the very laws of true science that I'm sitting here talking to you about now. The truth of science supports that if you have intelligent design, if you have order, if you have life that is reproducing life, then there must be a greater intelligence that is the original cause of it all. So when you think about these scientific truths, that you cannot get order from chaos, that things left to themselves are going to disintegrate and fall apart, and that you can't get life from nothing, whenever you have these scientific truths, now this is true science, it gives you something to meditate upon, and it will give you something to consider with an open heart and an open mind. And think about this. Whose worldview does these few little scientific truths, whose worldview do they more closely support? The secular worldview or the biblical worldview? This is something for you to think about, and I just want you to think about it.